Blah.
Hey, what's going on? I want to talk about John Wick and how I think that it relates to the Matrix movies. I just got done watching John Wick. Chapter 4 went this weekend. It was really long, man. I got to tell you. Listen, action movies can be long, and there's plenty of great action movies that are long. But in the realm of John Wick, I just feel like 2 hours and 50 minutes is just gratuitous and unnecessary. In fact, I think most of those films probably could have been just fine at like 85 minutes. But that's just me. I just feel like, the movies have a very simple premise, and you go in and execute the premise. And I got to tell you, the fourth film, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this because the film is super well received. The fourth one, I felt like they were just stretching it so thin. It was past the point of satire. It was like, I don't even know what was going on. I was laughing my ass off in a good way at some of the ridiculous things that were happening in the film. I suggest everybody go check it out, especially if you've seen the other John Wick movies, all three of them. But I got to tell you, I also found myself a little frustrated, but maybe that's for another video. As I was sitting in the theater, I was just like kind of marveling at the fact that there is absolutely no police element in any of the John Wick movies. Police are null and void in the John Wickiverse. And I had me thinking, if, criminal elements, if you have that many assassins just actively not whacking people and just walking around in the streets and having these big brawls and shootouts and duels and causing all sorts of carnage and damage, maybe the reality of John Wick is not like, we already know that it's like hyper exaggerated and is not meant to be realer than real, but maybe it's one step further. Maybe, in fact, John Wick's universe is a program created by the machines in the Matrix. So hear me out for a second. Hear me out. I know you're thinking I'm crazy. Let me put on my tinfoil hat and take it one step further. I love linking things up, like different universes that nobody said on paper that these things go together, but it's very easy to put 2 + 2 and make it into 4. Great example. This one's my favorite, and much to the frustration of others who I've shared it with, I love to think that Overlord and Saving Private Ryan could have happened in the exact same story universe, as both are anchored to D-Day, and Saving Private Ryan begins with D-Day, and Overlord is in anticipation of D-Day. So they have to stop something because D-Day is going to happen. So you have these two different movies, two different tones, historical action drama with a hybrid war action horror film, that's Overlord, sort of being fused together because they share a common historical event. And so in that kind of way, I want to believe that John Wick is a persona that was created for Neo by the machines when they finally were able to, apprehend him at the end of the third Matrix film. Which one was that? Matrix Revolutions, where Neo goes to fight Agent Smith. He makes a deal with the machines. We all know what happens in, what was it, Resurrection? Whatever the one that just came out, the fourth one. We know that we find out that the machines resurrected Neo, and then 60 something years have passed and Neo doesn't age. And now we're in the future. He's in the future and he sort of breaks out of his prison. So here's my theory. What if John Wick 1, 2, 3, and 4 take place in between Matrix Revolutions and Matrix Resurrection, and the machines, they put Neo in a reality, in an environment where he could take on as many agents as he wanted and would never bother to sort of look and appraise the reality that he was in. He's just got this quest because, he has to avenge his dog, and, the wife who died, maybe she is sort of some sort of, metaphor for Trinity in that kind of way. They sort of put her face onto a different face, a different identity. So he thinks it's his dead wife when in fact he's mourning the death of Trinity, who was also resurrected and maybe kept separated. So my idea is that the machines brought him back, and then they slipped him into this John Wickiverse where there is no police, just like there's no police in the Matrix. Like literally, the cops, you see cops like a little bit in the first Matrix film, and then they're just non-existent in every Matrix film after that, because we now know that it's a simulation. So I think John Wick basically is a simulation that kind of works like a hamster wheel for Neo, when he can just kind of run on the wheel and, like, you know, I mean, how else do you explain this super assassin named Baba Yaga who can, you know, take on any adversary, doesn't like get injured? You know, it's like they adjusted this reality for Neo where he can't really sort of die, or they make it really, really hard for him to die because they want to keep his mind contained so he doesn't do anything like he had done before. Except that in John Wick Chapter 4, he does die at the end, which was really stupid in and of itself, because we went through 4 movies only for the main character to die. I mean, and the other thing too is, like, what was John Wick's purpose in living? Honestly, like, what was his purpose? I think he kind of goes into it a little bit in the third one. I don't remember. Whatever it was super paper thin. It just, I don't know. It felt like it didn't make any sense. Like, why did the movie have to happen if John Wick was going to ultimately die anyway? What, just to defeat the dude at the table? I don't know. But in any case, when he does die in the John Wickiverse, that then unlocks his mind and he has to be put into a whole new reality by the machines. And that's how we get to Matrix Resurrection, where he's the guy who's designed some Matrix video games. And that's been the new prison that they had to construct, because the John Wick prison could not even hold Neo to begin with. Plus, you got Lawrence Fishburne in there, who was also in the Matrix films. He was Morpheus, and now he is the King, who's this like, what is he? He's like this like weird, like homeless assassin guy who's also got like this underground network kingdom, which I guess maybe doubles for Zion in that kind of way. So you have that element too. So you have like, so that's like keeping Neo's brain like happy and like anchored in the reality that he is in. And of course, somebody makes a mistake. The anomaly or whatever is that his dog is killed. And when his dog is killed, that creates a breaking point. The machines are basically just throwing as much as they can at John Wick, or at Neo, to try and keep him occupied so that his brain doesn't break free of the reality. Does that make any sense? What do you think of that? Does that work? I think that works. I think that connects the Matrix and John Wick in a way that makes the John Wick movies work for me, because that's the problem. The John Wick movies don't work for me because it just doesn't feel like it's gripped in any kind of meaningful reality. It feels way more like a Matrix reality than it does a real world where you have these assassins and no police, and they just, you know, can endlessly shoot guns and endlessly get hit by bullets, like this bulletproof vest, or this bulletproof suit. I mean, even if you're getting, you know, concussed with that many like lead projectiles, you're still going to die of internal bleeding. It's like getting like punched by little iron fists over and over again. And we hear at the very end of John Wick 4, he takes off his vest and his jacket, and we hear all the bullet shells dropping, or the bullets dropping down, because he's getting hit that whole time. He's not dodging these bullets, he's getting hit by them, but yet he can fall downstairs. He falls down that flight of stairs. He jumps out of a window and lands on a car and survives. I mean, all of these things happen because he is Neo inside of a program, and not because he is Superman in the John Wick world. I don't know. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Let me know.